Welcome to the Globe Economy podcast. My name is Tuan, the founder of Globes Media, and this podcast is where I sit down with the founders, creators, and the women shaping the future of beauty and culture. We talk presence, identity, story, and the systems behind influence. If you're building a brand, a body of work, or a world of your own, then you're in the right place. Welcome to the Globe Economy. Welcome to the Globe Economy podcast. My name is Tuan, and today I'm with Emma, who's an IFBB Bikini pro and international competitor, as well as a long-time fitness and posing coach. So the chat we'll have today is not just about wins and titles, but also about reclaiming authorship, as well as discipline after the stage, as well as essentially what does it mean to embody that lifestyle after without needing to prove yourself and so on, right? So Emma, great to have you with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
You live a lot of different identities, right? Athlete, coach, mother and so on. How would you define this chapter at the moment?
Oh my gosh, I feel like I've had like 5 different chapters in my life so far, and so very, very different from each other that have led me to this point.
Yeah.
And I think each chapter has defined or given me, it's built my character to lead me to this point now. It's but right now, I guess where I'm at is it's everything's for a reason. Even some of the things that have happened in the past, it's led me to this place, and I feel really at peace with where I am at the moment. And I think we're always kind of ever evolving, ever growing.
Yeah.
Ever relabeling ourselves if we like to label ourselves. It's just been a really interesting last probably 10 years, I would say. I guess I don't like labels. I don't like to be classed as anything in particular. I think it keeps you very stunted in your growth. So I've always been that way. I don't like being labelled with anything in particular.
I love the aspect you mentioned about challenging the age narrative of what it means to live well, like longevity and so on. What does it mean to keep crushing it at the game of life into your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond? And that's so interesting how people don't sit back to think how they're letting labels that externally impose upon them kind of impact their behaviour and how they should live, right? How they should look and how they should express themselves.
100%. I've got so many that I could label myself as. I've got the mum thing. I've got the age thing. There's the women in bodybuilding. All of these things that people label themselves at, and it's just like a safety net. I think that they label themselves that's them done then. It's like I'm 40 now and I've had kids, or I do everything for my kids, and they just label themselves in a safe zone where they stunt their own growth because of that. So I'm really big on shedding all those labels out and saying you can actually do it all. I'm a true believer in that, and I think balance is possible. But I also believe that you've got to do something really, really well. It's an unbalanced life for that period of time, whether that be business, whether it be building a family, whether it be an athlete life with competing. It has to be unbalanced if you're going to do quite extremely well in that. But then you do it, you get out of it, and then you get your balance back again.
Right, that's really interesting as you said there about holistically you can have it all, and a lot of people believe that and look to design and to embody that. But when it comes to, as you said, really committing to competition, to really winning, or even committing to a relationship or committing to a trajectory, there's always a cost to it. There's always a sacrifice. What do you find when you kind of zoom back out? What parts do you feel you had to reclaim once you sort of zoom back out?
Definitely family balance life, the family life balance, I think. Just small little things that mean a lot to kids, having kids. I've got three children. So, for instance, let's use competing as an example. It's an easy one to choose. The reality is that you're on a strict program, you're on a strict eating program, so when the kids want to go out for ice cream, you're not having ice cream with them. So, think just little things like that, but they're little things, but are big things, because then you throw in the mum guilt with that, and then you start getting pulled every which way.
Right.
It's really quite difficult to manage. Relationships struggle in comp prep. It's quite common for relationships to break down in that as well, because it's an unbalanced life, and socially you have to let some social arrangements go, or there are ways to do it, but you just have to be very, very conscious of it and very aware that it is still unbalanced. And then you kind of go into rescue mode after and try and fix it all up if you can. But the longer that you do it, like with competing, the longer I've done it, the more balanced it can be, and you realise you can still do all of those things if you plan it.
And you should like consciously sort of, when you're in that phase, just really like playing forward at, so then after the fact, right, a lot of things shift. So you've accomplished what a lot of people look at as the finish line, or the peaks and so on, but what does it look like to kind of like shift out of that? Like what does that kind of like?
It was a little bit confronting. I was worried it was going to be more confronting than it was. So I think a lot of people attach their identity to their accomplishments. And I really didn't want to be that person that only saw myself as a bodybuilder and people only knew me as a bodybuilder. And I was a little bit fearful of unofficially retiring, I suppose, moving away from the competing scene, and like, who am I without it? And also being in bodybuilding, the urge to feel like you have to keep competing to be relevant. But I found that that's not the case at all. I'm very lucky in that I got into bodybuilding post-children for me. It worked better for me that way. I set my life up, I have my children, and they ground me and they bring me back. So that my identity isn't attached to the outcome of bodybuilding or the physique of bodybuilding. But it still was there a little bit. Like I ended up going overseas, trying to see what I discovered about myself without being attached to competing. So usually every time I would travel overseas, I was always attached to competing. And late last year I decided to go just for me and to see how it was just traveling for the sake of traveling. And I ended up in this little village in Thailand, and it was like a really little hippie village. It was amazing. I loved it. I thrived there. But I realized that my outer didn't matter at all. And they didn't care. No people were talking to me when I was completely covered up, which was new. I always thought that people would only kind of come to me for the outer, the way that I look. Then, the more extreme you look in bodybuilding, the more attention you get, the validation maybe. And I found myself sitting at these little coffee shops talking to these people who didn't even ask me what I did. So I couldn't say, but like I'm this or that. They didn't care. I didn't bring it up. It was just like on who I was. And so that was a real big identity shift for me. Accepting that I am more than the outer, and also realizing that I was probably hanging on to a little bit of the identity of the bodybuilding world, as to who I was. So it was a eye-opening experience to feel that. And then coming back into the Western world, it's easy to creep back into it as well. It's easy to keep doing the, slip back into that of the external meaning more than the internal. So it's really important for me to try and always come back to what I learned on that trip away, and to try and bring it back to my real life here.
When you were in Thailand and you had that experience, right, and you had sort of that breakthrough of being in the inside out rather than the outside in, how did that feel in your body when you first sort of realised?
Uncomfortable. It's as bad as it sounds. I felt like ripping open my Instagram account to people and going, yeah, but look. It was so, I was like, damn, I'm so vain. But it was like interesting to feel that, because I didn't think I was that. But obviously there was that little bit of me that was. And it was uncomfortable. It was like, shit, like maybe I'm more interesting than I thought, than internally, than just this outer. And so it was really confronting. I took off my acrylic nails, I took off my eyelashes, I ripped out my extensions, and I just went raw. And I was like, well, love me how I am. But like I said, coming back to the Western world, the acrylics are back on, the makeup's back on. So it's it's trying to find a balance of, you know, you want to look good still,
Yeah.
and it does mean a lot to me because I think as well with bodybuilding, your outer shows your inner in some ways. It's like it's the representation of what's going on in your head, the discipline, the determination, the dedication, all of that shows on the outside because of what you do.
Do you think it's coming from a different place, like after the experience you went through, sort of the anchor and also post-comp? Do you think, because the outer and the inner, they're both so important, do you think it now comes from a more grounded place now, like coming back to the West?
Yeah, I've always said that I think with competing, it's a mindset sport. You know, the glitz and the glam is just the stage part. That bit really is just the end product, whatever. Like, you can't control the outcomes.
Yeah.
It sounds so cliche, but like the journey of competing, of prepping for a show, it's all mindset, and you learn so much about yourself. And I think that's why, for me, that's why I love it. I just love prep. I could be on prep forever because I just learned so much about myself. So I do think that it's I think the inner work that you do through a comp prep is just extraordinary each time you compete. For 10 years I've been doing it, and each time I've learned something new about myself, about others, about boundaries that I need to enforce and then keep post comp as well. So it's I know. It's an amazing journey, I think, comp prep. It's not for everyone, but I think the ones that probably don't last are the ones that don't see it as a mindset thing. They just see it as a physical thing.
Right.
And they're the ones that usually don't last.
Yeah. Do you think that is like the difference between, say, the girls you coach, where discipline needs to be put upon versus if discipline came already as a choice from within? Do you find that sort of like the biggest difference as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think I probably turn more people against bodybuilding than toward it because I say you've got to have done the work first. You've got to have done the work or doing the work internally to be able to do, because it can be quite soul destroying if you don't, and dangerous as well, psychologically dangerous, being very much body focused. So I feel like, you know, the women that I tend to attract are just amazing women. I just attract crazy, amazing, beautiful women. There's like very encouraging. They've dropped they're ready to move through as well. They're going through their identity, learning who they are again, or learning who they think they should be. A lot of mums come to me as well who have lost themselves, and I've been there. I've done all of that. I've felt all of that. So again, stage is just the glitz and the glam. There's so much more behind it.
And do you think, like, at that point, before they're ready, there's a certain level of self-awareness that needs to have played out before they come, or what?
100%. Yes, absolutely. I always say, you know, when you compete, you'll never see yourself that lean ever again. So then I bring it back again. Well, you've contacted me as a coach to train you and do your nutrition, because at this point, when you weren't even comp prepping yet, you loved yourself that much that you thought that you were good enough to stand on the stage. So you've got to remember that you've got to come back to that. And don't attach yourself to the physique of a competing physique, because that's just going to destroy you. So they have to have done the work prior. They have to have loved themselves internally and externally enough first before even thinking of starting a comp prep.
Right, and that's how you'd like cultivate that self-love through time, but you're able to keep doing it again and again.
And again, never stops.
it's like a vehicle that for self-improvement, and you learn about yourself. And from what I'm hearing you saying is, if it becomes about the title or the ego or the identity attached around stage, that the high becomes very, very unbearable afterwards, right? Or
you just can't hold on to it, can you? It's just a plastic trophy.
And
it's a subjective sport as well. So you have to really separate yourself. This is the way that I tell my clients and myself. This is the way I've run it. And again, this is why I think I've been so sustainable throughout this, like for 10 years now doing this. Is I detach my physique on stage to my, there's no emotional attachment to it for me. As soon as I go into comp prep, it's not my body anymore. I'm training for the judges, and I'm training for a look and a criteria. So I have to remove emotion. So it's literally not my body. Coming away from stage, the balance side that we were talking about, you have to start loving your body again, because I'm big on being in your feminine and loving your body from within and the exterior as well that comes with that. So moving from like a competing physique mindset versus a lifestyle and real life physique is really important to know the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of tying back to you said earlier about boundaries as well, and about it's one thing to love ourselves, but it's another thing as well, as you said, something you mentioned about the judges, right? And big judge on the stage and the sport is the most cleanest, purest form of judgment.
Yeah.
Versus, let's say, in real life, right? There's judgments from other people which might not be most clean, it could be most messy and so on, right? So just tying it back to that, how do you separate judgment that's worth considering and taking on board versus ones where you just shut out instantly?
Yeah, I was talking about this the other day actually, about judgment, and you're exactly right. Like on stage, it's just they see what they see, and they don't care about your history, they don't care about your journey, they don't care about your personality, nothing. I feel very comfortable up there. I'm like, judge me, like tell me where I'm missing or lacking. It's a really interesting way to be looked at. I mean, I get people all the time, how can you be on stage and be judged like that? I'm like, it's a sport, or it's a, I love that. It's, like I said, very raw, pure, just on a physique. As soon as you step off that stage and you start to do school pickup with the kids, or you sit at family lunches and you can't have, eating the food that they're eating, or you're getting up and down looks from jealous people, for instance, or people that are questioning why you look the way you do. That's a whole different type of level of judgment. And that, I feel, is more hurtful and harmful, because you feel like you have to justify yourself all the time. And in the justifying, you then become potentially a people pleaser, trying to, I got stuck in the hole of trying to make sure people knew that I was a down-to-earth person. Because outside I didn't look like it. Or I'll get people come to me and they go, oh, you're actually really nice. I'm like, thanks, I think. Or they say, oh, you're very intimidating online. Because it's all they see is what they see. So I go into that hole of trying to like overcompensate a little bit of I'm still nice, I'm still likable, I'm still down to earth, that kind of thing. So I've learned to try and let that go, and also understanding that it's yin and yang, and 50% of people will hate you, 50% will like you, and the people that like you are your people, and the other people you can't change their mind anyway. So it's really letting go of trying to control people's opinions or ideas of you, because they probably made their mind up anyway. So you can't really change it, so just letting go. I just have to let you just learn to let go, and what will be will be. And just creating that kind of like that discernment, that separation, you said, is like on the stage. And I think that kind of brings back the play aspect of it, so that you can stay open and just like have fun with it, really, and just really like step into that, versus kind of not separating it from yourself. Would that be correct? On stage, you mean? I wanted to be an actress when I was young. I was riddled with social anxiety as a child, anxiety, eating disorder. And the only time I thrived was on stage, playing a role. And I was up there, and it wasn't because it wasn't me. So I loved that as a kid. And I'd step off and I'd be like a trembling mess, but on stage I was safe. So I think that's come into it as well for me, for competing as well. Like you said, you play a role on stage. I've become this goddess, this whatever I might want to choose on the day, and I just bring it, and I love it because it's playing a role. I still very much me, but it's the it's like me, aspects of me just like highlighted. Isn't
that powerful, hey? How like archetypes, because growing up was similar, right? Like social anxiety, a bit of nervousness, but I used to play music and play guitar, and you can step on the stage, you get to choose, and you get to you get to become the alter ego, which I've learned later as an adult becomes just being your best self, right? Because in hindsight, you can be thinking, oh, is that really me, etc., etc. But in a lot of ways, that is always been a part of you. It's just the vehicle allows you to tap into that and just allows you to just fully express yourself.
Exactly. It's it's allowing you that safety to express. And if we can do that outside of the stage, then that's really, really magnetic. Isn't it? When you can just sit with it, who you really are. Like now I own the parts of me that are a little bit crazy or loopy or whatever. And like the people come. No, they don't. But it's I feel more at peace. And if people come, cool. If they don't, cool. Like whatever. And it's, I think I don't search for anything. I don't come from a place of want or need anymore. It's just I think I just want a peace, and with that,
Yep.
things free flow.
Why do you think a lot of people feel almost afraid to be a little bit unhinged?
Oh, fear of judgment of others.
Yeah.
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 Everyone's too scared of what everyone else thinks.
Yeah.
They really are, and it's really, at the end of the day, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, I do. I'm not
Yeah.
going to say I sit here and I don't care.
Yeah,
Of course
yeah,
I do.
of course, yeah.
There's always that part of me that, worries what other people think or whatever, or are they talking about me or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's 10 times better than what it used to be. And the more I sit with knowing it's okay that I can't change it, the better I become. It's just always ever growing in that. And it's changing my someone amazing once said to me, Emma, you're so good at telling yourself stories that are so damaging or negative, or you're so worried about what people think. Imagine if you're that good at telling yourself, because I can visualize like low tomorrow. I'm a really good visualizer and manifester. And if I can do that with something negative, just switch it into another pathway, to something positive or something less harmful, and like magic can happen.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that, and it's consistent. There'll be times when I'm like going, oh God, I'm drifting off this way, and I'm thinking, oh God, what if they think this or that? And I'm like, no, let's switch it. Then maybe they're thinking this.
Yeah.
Because I can't control what they're thinking, and it's all just in my head.
Yeah.
Stories I'm creating.
Yeah.
So if I can just not get stuck in the what ifs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what you said about magnetic as well, it's like the one thing we can't control is how people think of us. Some people love us, some people hate us, right? The one thing we can control is how they call it unhinged, but it's just really being you. It's just like bringing out the real parts of you, right? Just being silly or goofy or real or raw. That's the part you can control, and that's the part which makes you magnetic, right? And it's like, I think to those who resonate, it gives people permission to feel like they can do it as well, right?
Yes.
And when there's that story where if you kind of almost shrink yourself and tell yourself like a story, right? Because we're very good at it, right? Because that's like a gift, but also like a double-edged sword. Where when you tell yourself the story and it actually doesn't help you, it also doesn't serve like people you want to lead or inspire, whether it's children or family or clients and so on, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like reminding it where it's like you're not just you are like like you're part of the infinite consciousness, whatever you want to call it, right? And so on, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the more you do it, the more you can lead, and you see it's like the ripple effect. It just takes one to do something unhinged or loud. Or for me, it's a lot of women that come to me. They're like, they love how confident I am. So the more I post my selfies, I don't care that you get sick of it. You can mute my stories. Like, I will post my selfies for the one woman, even not just for me, for the one woman that's doubting herself. To go, Emma's in the middle of a gym taking a selfie of herself. Like, fuck yeah, I can do that too, and like build the confidence. I don't mind being the bad guy if it means that it ripples effects out to the women that are ready to receive, because many aren't, and I just wish that everyone was, but they'll get there hopefully. If it just ripples out to at least one or two, and people, I always say that people are watching that you don't even, what's the word, I don't know what they're saying, but there are people watching that you don't even realize that you're inspiring. My clients as well, they'll put a little post up, and I get feedback from someone else about, wow, she's amazing, she's 60 years old and she's doing this competition, that's inspiring in itself.
That's so interesting that you said that the people we're inspiring haven't even met yet or even know of us yet, and so that comes with it like its own impact and almost like a responsibility to be the best you can and just embody that and just post. Because that's how people feel seen. Because imagine if you stop posting. Because how fucked up is it, right? That we live in a society where someone would think it says a lot more about their projections to feel weird about you expressing and embodying yourself, right? So that others can feel seen and feel connected, right? Isn't that kind of interesting?
Well, everything's a mirror. And as soon as you understand everyone's a mirror, and if they're projecting insecurities or if they're judging you, that's their insecurity. Once you understand that, it's so much easier just to do you, because it's not about me, it's about you. I'm sorry my selfie makes you feel uncomfortable because you're insecure about how you look. Let's work with that. I hope this for you and that for you. So, you know, let's work on your confidence, because it's like reverse psychology unknowingly, because it's always about them, not you.
Yeah, and the mirror is always like an examined or an unexamined self, and depending on how someone's reaction is, it's their work or their work they've done that they recognize in it when they see you like post a photo or do a reel or do a video or so on, right?
Yeah.
Which is really, really, really fascinating stuff. Yeah. Like if we zoom back out, like if there was like a word or a theme, right, to describe this arc or this chapter of yours, like what would you kind of call it?
I don't know. The becoming, no, I don't know. I've had, like I said, I've had so many revelations over the last 10 years, so many rebirths, if you want to call them, or it's just, I don't know, I really wouldn't have a sentence, I don't know, or a word for it. It's just been a big 10-year thing. I don't know, I feel like I've maybe coming back, you know, they'd say about coming back to who you were originally as a child. I can see elements of my little girl there that wanted to express herself, wanted the confidence.
Yeah.
If I can do that now for her, that, you know, I feel like that's just ever evolving. And also seeing my children as well, I want to show them the things that I couldn't do as a child. If I can, again, like we were saying before, if someone leads the way, even if I'm cringe, my kids think I'm cringe. I reckon I'm a cool mum. But anyway, you know, I'll be cringe for them if it means that I can show them that it's okay to be out there or be yourself. You know, they might find it cringe now, but when they're 20 years old or 30 years old, they might come back to what I did and be like, well, mum did it. Mum had a big sale on the internet. Like, you know, like, mum stood on stage in a bikini. So it might give them the confidence. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's got to be a bigger why than me. And it always is. It's always my clients, my women empowerment side of things. I thrive in that. I love seeing women come into their own and own their power, and then the ripple effect of others seeing that. And my children. Got to be more than just me. I don't.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Coming back to who you are,
yeah.
Like just remembering who the fuck you are, which is the important thing. If we wrap it up, if there was one piece of advice you'd give to your 12-year-old self, like or your younger self, what would it be?
Yeah, probably what we said about just not caring what anyone thinks.
Yeah.
Just do you, and you can't change people's opinions of you. So don't waste your breath trying, because it can just destroy you. You just run and run. It's just infuriating. Yeah. So you just let it go, free flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to like follow along, like see your work, you know, like follow along, where can they find you?
I've got my coaching page. So I'm a sport nutritionist trainer online, and then I do the posing side as well. So it's Emma.kcoach, or my other page, which has got all about me, is Emma.k IFBB Pro.
Love that. I'll put it in the show notes, like afterwards in the description. And this has been a really, really good conversation.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Thank you.
And the side about discipline and identity and what it means to just own that and just embody it, right? Just for yourself and for those who can be inspired by you, like whether now or down the track, is just that's the powerful part. So yeah, thanks for
having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for tuning into the Glow Up Economy podcast. If this conversation landed with you, then share it with someone in your world who's building their own glow. And if you want to explore these stories deeper, then you can find the full features and the spotlights at theglowupeconomy.com underneath the spotlight, the magazines, and the podcast show notes. My name is Tuan, and this is the architecture of modern feminine power. And we'll see you in the next episode.